So how many of you realise that school didn't prepare you to handle your personal finances? And how many of you realise that school has not prepared you to figure out how to be on a team, how to work on a team? And how many of you realise that school hasn't prepared you to have a decent and nurturing and loving relationship? Well, I realised that too, and at that moment. But the one thing I did learn when we turned that business around, the number one thing that you need to have in business is you need to be able to, what's the word please? You need to be able to sell. I can't hear you. You need to be able to sell. Now the reason for this is just because sales equals income. Sales equals what? Thank you. I've worked with thousands of businesses and hundreds of thousands of organisations. Companies like Singapore Airlines, HSBC, Morgan Stanley, L'Oreal, IBM, Redken. How many of you have actually heard of these businesses? Yes? Great. And I've also worked with literally hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs and small business owners. And the time when I've ever found a person or a business with a cash flow problem, it's because somebody within the business, somebody within the organisation, or the business owner does not know how to sell. Or they don't think that it's important enough to know how to sell. Or they think, I'm not that kind of a salesperson guy. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Yes? How many of you actually do like to sell? And how many people feel a little bit uncomfortable in sales? Great. Thank you for admitting it. Now, we're going to deal with this in a little bit time. By the way, sales is not just selling a product. Sales is also recruiting your what's the word, please? Team. Now, the problem is that if sales equals income, to get a massive and passive income, we need to have a great team. Now, the problem with that is, I would wager that most of the people here in the audience, if this is a normal NAC, that most of you actually work on your own. And if you don't work on your own, then you are the person that's responsible with the burden of generating the most income. Am I correct? Yes or no? Yes or no? You've got to change that. You've got to change that scenario, because I realise that there are 3 more components to being a great entrepreneur. And you also, besides sell and team, you need to know how to what's the word, please? Teach. You need to be able to teach the other people on your how to. Let's do it again. You need to be able to the other people on your how to. One more time. Need to. How to sell. Great. Now, I tell you what, if you've got people on your team that don't sell or that won't promote your business, they are treacherous to your business, treasonous to your business. In this day and age, since 2007, and for the next 15 to 20 years moving forward, everybody on the team must sell. Everybody, yes? If you're going to have the income that you want to have. Now, there are 3 more components to this. The fourth component is that you need to have great systems. You need to have financial systems, management systems, marketing systems, referral systems, and all that kind of stuff, okay? Another thing, this word, that as a great entrepreneur that you have to have is a high level of accountability. What's the word, please? I can't hear you. Accountability, especially for the numbers. Now, the truth of the matter is you don't actually have to be a great salesperson. I mean, how many people here are actually in network marketing? Is there anyone here in network marketing? Please raise your hand. Wow, that's great. Perfect. Now, if you made 100 phone calls and tried to get an appointment with somebody, and in almost any business, how many people do you think of those 100 phone calls would actually answer the phone? Out of the 100 phone calls, how many? Maybe 50? Okay, great. Let's say half, 50. And out of those 50, how many appointments do you think you would be able to actually tie down? So out of the 50, if you could sell a little bit, out of the 50, let's say what? Maybe 10? Okay, maybe 5. So out of the 5, how many do you think you could get of those 5 to make the deal? Let's say maybe 1. Or maybe even half. Right? Yes? Well, guess what? Now you can be rich. Yep, now you can be rich. 20 calls a day. Even if you are deaf and dumb and blind, you are going to get at least 1 deal a week. And you're going to make money. And then you're going to teach your team how to sell. But there's one big problem with this and that at the moment. And that's why you need to know your numbers.